I made it. I made it. I made it. I made it. 3 days. Well, we'll see if I make it past the 30-minute mark. How's everybody's Saturday going? I hope it's going well. Yes, I'm going to probably post an Envision Dream windbreaker this evening because they said rain is in the forecast. Of course. April showers bring May flowers, and now we are into May. But, that doesn't stop the rain. So, updates. Oh, updates. Yes. So, I have been able to download my live from TikTok onto my computer. And that's how I uploaded it onto my YouTube pages. I've been trying to figure out how to download them onto my cell phone, and it would start playing and then all of a sudden it would like shut off. So I went and cleared the cache. I went and checked to see how my storage was. So I was finagling with that. It does say that once you download it, whether it's on your phone or on your computer, you can do highlights, but I was unable to do the highlights from my phone, and then I was working on it on my computer, and I haven't really done the highlights, and then it was allowing me to possibly do some CapCut. So that's kind of where I'm at with the TikTok live, but I'm happy to report that I've actually followed directions and I've gone live 3 times now. So what I wanted to also talk about today is I'm getting into the Facebook Stars earning program. Now, I don't understand why for monetization for Facebook that they make you earn stars first before monetizing. Like I'm just curious, because to me, the stars program that I'm looking at is telling me that I have to respond to all star senders. I have to post about stars. I have to do a pinned star comment. I have to link to Stars store for any viewers who want to buy stars at any time. And obviously turn your stars on or off. Now I have 2 Facebook pages that I am now earning stars. But for me personally, I kind of feel like, well, why do I have to ask people to give me stars? I know they say, oh, they want you to ask them, hey, support me, support what I'm doing. But it's kind of like a lot of people are on their phone not earning anything. So like, I just feel weird asking. I don't know. I know they say, don't feel afraid to ask. I just feel like, why should I have to ask? You know what I mean? Like, this is something I wanted to do. But that's where I'm at right now with 2 out of the 4 Facebook pages is the stars earning potential. I have followed the instructions and I have done the action of pinning the star comment to the top of the Facebook page. And I can do a post about stars, letting people know that I now receive them and how they could send them to me. So that's kind of where I'm at. And then under the stars itself for earning potential, it says that, so my weekly activity or function for this week would be to publish 5 new posts that are eligible to receive stars. So I need to research and figure out what does that exactly mean, because I can just post things, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they're eligible for stars. And obviously, if I post someone else's content or I share someone else's content, they're making the money off of me sharing it. I'm not necessarily making the money off of it. So it's trying to make sure that the content that I create is earning potentially. And then it says I need to receive stars on a new post. So out of the 5 new posts eligible to receive stars, then I need to receive a star on any one of those 5 posts. And then they want you to customize your thank you message for earning stars. So that's kind of where I'm at. So if you don't know, I do have YouTube channels. I have a TikTok. I have Instagram. I have Facebook. And I am learning how to monetize my programs. For YouTube, what I'm doing is I'm taking my Facebook live or my Reels lives on Instagram, and I'm uploading them onto YouTube. So I started doing that with TikTok. TikTok is its own ball game. It's its own new world. I'm learning it, but right now I'm just following instructions. And so this is the 3rd time I'm going live in 1 week. So I guess there's potential to earn when you get to a position of going live. So if anyone knows how to do it, please send us some tips. Let us know exactly what we're doing. Yeah, so that's what I'm working on right now, and I thought it would be cool to kind of go live and just tell you what I'm doing. Subscriptions, I'm not there yet with Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube as far as these subscriptions. I've only met 1 of 3 criteria. Yeah, predictable earnings. That's what subscriptions in Facebook says. Build a new revenue stream with reoccurring monthly payments. Get audience support. Provide a direct and flexible way for fans to support you and connect more deeply with your work. I know it means making more money if I do subscriptions, but I'm kind of like, I don't know, like, I'm not there yet. I'm not interested in being like, hey, I'm showing you everything I got. Now I need you to pay to see what I got. You know what I mean? I'm not there yet. So, flexible benefits. Choose to add more benefits that bring your community together, like a subscriber-only group, or offer exclusive content. So further down the line, as I start building and teaching, I might be able to do my own subscriptions for exclusive content and the classes that I do down the road. But I'm not, like I said, I'm not ready for that right now. Let's see here. I'm also learning about these coins or diamonds that TikTok will give popular lives or lives that do great. So I'm just kind of like watching everything, learning how it all works. Let's see here. What else are we learning? Eligibility requirements. I'm still on the Facebook right now. I know I'm jumping back and forth, right? If you've recently met all criteria, please allow up to 2 days to get access. So you must be in an eligible country. Audience. For subscriptions on Facebook, you need to have 10,000 followers. Right now I have 702 for Sherry's Dreamcatcher. That's one of my 4 pages. If I lumped them all together, I don't know. I might come close to like 2,000, but not 10,000. You need 250 weekly returning profile views. Engagement, you must meet one of the following criteria below. 50,000 total reactions, comments, and shares on your posts, and 180,000 minutes viewed on posts. So that's what it will take in order for me to be eligible for subscriptions on Facebook. As of right now, it says my account is earning money, meaning I'm eligible to be earning money, which starts with stars. And that's where I'm at right now. I have not had enough views or reactions to earn a lot. I've got like, what, 50 cents worth of stars right now. So I've had a couple of people send me some stars. So But under monetization status, it says my page is earning money. Great job. So I just have to continue posting. I can repost some of the give you some extra money. How about I show you how to grow some extra money? How about that? If I can do it, you can do it, right? It's kind of like growing your own garden, your own food, so you don't have to waste all that money at the grocery store. You know? So if I can figure it out, believe me, I'll tell you guys, you know. But if I can do it, and once I'm able to teach it, that's where the subscriptions come in, right? And the exclusive content. But I can't teach something that I'm actually in the middle of learning. But I can share it with you, which is what I'm doing right now. And I also, you know, this is something that I do on the side. I wasn't going on to Facebook to start making money. It was really about getting my name out there, my brand out there, because I do have my own e-commerce store and I have my own blog. So it was really about just kind of getting it out there and getting known. And these are just things that kind of lined up. I believe things happen when they're supposed to happen, as long as you keep moving forward and you're consistent, you know, and you have to enjoy what you're doing. So this January, I made a decision to put a plan together for what I was going to do as far as social media content and my blogs and my e-commerce store. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to put a plan together and I'm going to follow through on it and be consistent. And so far in May, we're doing well. And that's how I've been able to monetize, because I'm taking the steps to continually move forward. I am posting onto YouTube. Whatever we do live here and whatever I say here, I will post on YouTube under Sherry's Dreamcatcher. It's under Let's Talk, because Let's Talk is just me talking. It's just me getting things off my chest. It may not necessarily be just about making money on Facebook or the blog. My business journey journal on Sherry's Dreamcatcher, that will also give you some tips on, you know, how to maybe start your own e-commerce or be your own entrepreneur. And believe me, it's messy. It's not straightforward and organized, but there's nuggets in there. And maybe some of the stuff I say can be boring or seem boring, but when I drive to work, I'm listening to other creators, and I'm listening to other YouTube channels, and I'm getting nuggets from them too, you know? It's like it takes one to know one, and you can pull those nuggets, and then you can be like, okay, that's how they did it. Well, I might like to do it that way too, but I might put my little twist on it, you know? And then YouTube, I have 3 pages. I am not monetized yet because I've been building the foundation, and hopefully as it continues to grow and as I continue to post content, which is what you're supposed to do. For the first 5 years, I was just kind of like, hey, I have a YouTube account. Let me see what I can do. But now this year, I've been very organized with it. I have my Dear Dreamcatcher series on Sherry's Dreamcatcher, which is about the full moons of 2026. So I do posts on that. The lives that we're doing on TikTok, this is pretty much new for me. And so we're going to upload it onto Sherry's Dreamcatcher's YouTube under Let's Talk. And then there's my Dating Sherry for when I travel around the country, the world, and go out to different restaurants, cultural things that I do or like to do and learn about. I tried to post that on Dating Sherry. That's a growing entity. It's beginning. I have my Sip and Thinks with Sherry. Sip and Thinks with Sherry about positive affirmations. It's kind of like a mix of like tarot cards, but it's not with tarot cards. It's with positive affirmations. So that's what I do on my Sip and Thinks with Sherry. Originally, I started that off of Sherry's Dreamcatcher, and then I needed to break off from Sherry's Dreamcatcher, and I created its own channel. I know I feel like I'm saying a lot, but I'm pretty organized now with what I'm doing, and I'm pacing myself. I think that is a huge piece to this, is pace yourself. You don't have to have as many Facebooks, Instagrams, websites, and YouTube channels as me. You can just focus on like one, you know what I mean? And once you can learn how to interlink them all, you just then can have fun creating the content, and then you upload it and post it, and it interlinks and posts it all at the same time. So I kind of like that stuff. I like trying to figure it out. I had to literally build it from scratch, start from scratch, which is what I did. And I've had my ups and downs, challenges, and I'm just gonna keep continuing because I feel like I'm a flower too, you know? Hi, everybody. Why do they call me Sherry, aka Wildflower? Wildflower is because it's a native name that was given to me by an elder, and it's because I move like a wildflower. And if you know anything about wildflower, they grow and then they continually grow, and like they're wild, right? So that's why I am called Sherry, aka Wildflower. It's my native name. And I'm married into the Narragansett Indian tribe, which is also interlocked with the Pequot tribe and the Mashpee tribe of New England. So if you do follow me on Sherry's Dreamcatcher, there will be posts when I'm at powwows. I have family members that make regalia, which is what they wear during the ceremonies at powwows, or for any specific ceremonies that they may do at like the Pequot Museum, or if they're going to teach in a school, or the Tamaqua Museum. I have family members that make wampum earrings, jewelry, necklaces, bracelets, rings out of wampum shells, which is the quahog shell that you get from a clam. What else about Sherry? Yeah, I think that's really it mostly. So I'm just trying to determine if like I should continue to go live, or like once this live is done, I can see what Instagram says for me to do next. So again, this is just me going live because I haven't done it too many times. I did it in Greece. My sister ran the Athens Marathon in Greece, and so I did do it there, but I was trying to tell everyone. TikTok was like, hey, you're eligible to go live. And I was in Greece, and I was like, hey, all right. My sister had just finished running the original marathon, which is why we call it a marathon. I mean, is this crazy, right? And I'm at the stadium, and it's made of marble stone, and I'm walking back to where like Zeus's temple is. I mean, this is like, I'm like into mythology, right? And they tell me I can go live, so I decide to go live, but literally everyone that I know was sleeping because they were back here in America. That was my first time going live. I'm going to try to see if I was able to save it, because I would love to show you all the live that I did in Greece. But when I decided to do the live here on TikTok, now, Greece was in November of 2025, so this past November. And now that I'm doing my business journey journal and my plan or whatever, so just this past week, TikTok said, why don't you go live 3 separate times? So tonight, this is my 3rd time. but technically it's my 4. Do you see what I mean? Exactly. Hope you understand that. I'm happy to answer any questions that you guys have. I'm happy if you have any pointers or any tips. I'm happy to take those in. I'm happy to research. Is there a topic you want to know about? I like researching. I like learning. I work for senior living. I'm a director. And I meet with a lot of interesting people, and a lot of them are also are retired professors. And actually, I was sitting with one today, and she said to me, because I had to go do a director function, and we sat there and we were chatting, and I said, oh, it's just working on all my training. You know, it's for working in assisted living or senior living, you have to do certain trainings, whether it's federally or statewide. And so I told her I was working on that. And she said, you've been here for a long time. I said, yeah, I've been here for 15 years. She said, can't you get your master's, because we're talking about my master's, right, going to school. She's like, can't you use some of those certificates that with all these trainings for the last 15 years, can't you continue your degree with and take a test and get out of it? Or I'm like, I don't know, but I told her it's something I would look into. I think it would be interesting. It would really be interesting because I have the experience, but I don't have the doctorate to match it. And she's like, well, you pretty much are, so it's interesting, when you have intellectuals telling you from their experience what they think, and you're like, oh, I didn't think about that. So maybe I should look into it. I don't know, guys. I don't know if I'm ready to get my master's or my doctorate. I'm trying to do my social media. I'm trying to learn all of this, right? But I do have the background and the other stuff for senior living. It was funny. I was telling somebody the other day, I was like, because they asked me, they're like, how did you get into this? And I was like, oh, well, I worked third shift. I was going to school. I was taking care of my 3 kids, my disabled dad. And they're like, oh, you're disabled dad. I was like, yeah, he had 7 strokes, and, he was paralyzed on one side. And I was like, at the age of 60, I had to, his age was 60. I had to make the decision with my sisters and my brother, all right, it's time for him to go into a nursing home. At that point, I lived in a raised ranch. I couldn't get him up and down the stairs. I couldn't even get him into the car anymore. And every time he'd get up in the middle of the night, he had a Hemi walker, and one side was paralyzed, but he'd keep doing it. And he'd want to get up and try to get the kids snacks, but my dad was 5'2", and the snacks were above the refrigerator. So 2:30 in the morning, he'd fall. So then I'd have to get my husband to get up, and he'd have to go pick my dad up. But his last real big stroke made it to a point where he could not get in and out of the house. He needed a Hoyer lift at that time. So at 60 years old, there was the decision that my dad at that point had to remain in a nursing home. It was hard. Every time I left, I was grieving, but I do remember my friend was the director of nursing at the time. She went to school with my older sister, and she just looked at me and said, Sherry, you're raising 3 kids. Their dad is over in Afghanistan fighting the war, because I was obviously divorced from my kid's father, but still their dad was fighting in Afghanistan, and they had to deal with that. And then they had to deal with the fact that their grandfather was paralyzed, and mom was taking care of him. And when mom was at school or work, they had a CNA in the house, or my husband would be there with the kids and my dad. And they said, what if your kids came home from school and found your dad dead? What would that do to them? How would that traumatize them? And I looked at her, I'm 49 now. So this was, God, he passed away in 2017, over 10 years ago. And so that was when I made the decision and said, yeah, you're right. You're right. I can't do that to my children. I can take it. I've seen dead bodies, I can take it. But not my children. So I made that decision with my sisters and my brother. My brother at the time was serving in the Air Force in Japan. He had to take a 19-hour flight and then get on the train. I met him in Kingston to bring him to see my dad when we ended up putting him on hospice 4 years later after he'd been in the nursing home for 4 years. So that was an interesting time as well. Yeah, but every time I would go visit my dad and then I would leave, I would cry. I would cry and cry and cry. I just, you know, but I knew I was supposed to take care of him. He was right there. My sisters were right there, you know, so he got to see his grandkids. He got to be around his daughters. At the time before my dad came back to Rhode Island, he was living in Arizona. And my brother was raised in Arizona, so I felt bad for my brother that my dad left Arizona to come stay with me and my sisters. But I think at that point, when my dad first started having his strokes, he had to come home. He had to face the music, talk to people he hadn't talked to in a long time. And, you know, we reap what we sow. So my dad could have changed his life. He was eating the things that he wasn't supposed to. He was a diabetic, had high cholesterol, high blood pressure, and he just wasn't listening and paying attention, you know? So first he had his first stroke, I think, at like 58. And then his second stroke, he came to Rhode Island, and that was in like 6 months of each other. And then I am not a nurse, but I had to learn how to take care of him with his diabetes. There's definitely a difference of sliding scale and non-sliding scale. I used to have to make sure that I put his insulin in the needle, and that would be our fun time. All right, Dad, where am I sticking you now? You know, that's what you get for leaving me and abandoning me and then coming back, you know. And then I learned about what to look for in a stroke. So when he had his real big stroke, I came home from work. I remember calling my husband had called me. I was at work. I told my sister to go over to the house because she lived right around the corner. So she came in to check on my dad, but she didn't know the stuff that I was looking for because I was with him all day, all the time, every day. It was like raising another child, right? So I get home and I sit down and he's in the recliner and I'm talking to him, and I can tell he's not answering me right away. His speech is slow. It's a little slurred. I'm looking at him and I'm asking him to smile because I want to see his face kind of droopy, you know. But you have to do all this because you're like, is it really? Is it not? Like, you know what I mean? Then I said, Dad, I said, I think I'm going to call an ambulance. No, he didn't want me to call an ambulance. Oh, I'm calling the ambulance. No, we argued about calling an ambulance, but I still called the ambulance. And sure enough, yeah, he was in the middle of having a stroke. So it was good that I did that. However, I remember when my mother-in-law was dying of brain cancer. We had just brought her back from Providence, from the hospital, back to the house, put her on hospice. The same time that we brought my mother-in-law home to die, my dad was at the house, and he called me, and he asked me at like 8 o'clock at night when I was coming home. And I thought that was strange because I was in my 30s, and I was like, it's weird. Why is Dad calling me to ask me when I'm coming home? And so, and he knew I was over at my mother-in-law's. We were getting like the bed and everything set up with the hospice. So I looked at my husband and I was like, hey, my dad just called, wondering what time we're going. And he was like, all right, you want to go check him? And I was like, yeah. So we drove back home to check on him, and I checked his blood sugar. And I didn't know much about diabetes, but my dad apparently was going into a diabetic coma because his sugar level was at 600, 610 to be exact. And I just said, Dad, are you all right? Are you sure you're right? Yeah, I just need to sleep. I just need to sleep. I'm like, something's not right. Something's not right. And then I remember going downstairs because my room was downstairs to go to bed. And 2 hours later, my dad went to get up to go to the bathroom and he just collapsed to the floor. So that's when I was in the hospital with him and I learned about diabetes and what I needed to look for. So yeah, that was just like a real small moment in time. Sometimes you do what you have to do. You do what your body or what, it's like instinct, So let's see. Because I was yelling at TikTok the other day, I can never tell how long I've been on live. So now I have to go on my computer and I have to check. And mind you, I just got home from work around 6:15 and I threw dinner in the oven. So I'm doing this live while I'm cooking dinner. Killing two birds with one stone, That's how I'm doing it. Let's see here. So when I go to my TikTok on my computer, it will tell me how long I've been on live. And I have to do research on this TikTok shop stuff. I'm not going to do it all at once. I got to do one thing at a time, but multiple things at the same time, if you know what I mean. So right now it shows that I'm live on my computer. I click on it and it says I've been on here for 31 minutes and 48 seconds. So I have done it. I have surpassed the 30 minutes and 3 days in 1 week. Isn't that amazing? I give myself a round of applause, everybody. Give myself a round of applause. That in itself is amazing. I have followed directions and I have completed a task. Will it make any money? I have no idea. I just had a lot of fun just talking to you and coming here on live. Now, I'm going to click the live button here on my computer, and every time I go to the live button, it shows me people selling stuff. So is that me? Do I need to go on live and start selling red dragon's blood, Palo sticks, white sage, Do I need to do that? Oh, what about my candles? I got Buddhas. I got Mother Earth. Oh, wait. Ooh, yeah, see? This one smells good. This one I did with coconut wax. Let's see. I've got my Buddhas too, Coconut wax. Some of them are soy wax. Some of them are coconut wax. I like the coconut wax because it looks a lot more whiter. It reminds me of Hawaii. There's 3 different styles of Buddhas that I can make and create. 3 different styles. Aren't they so cute? I do sell them. I'm going to try to I make them and I sell them. I hand pour them into the mold, And they have a beeswax wick. So they have different wicks, right? So this one, the Buddhas, have the beeswax wick. Where Mother Earth right now, she's hard to do because sometimes she doesn't come out full. Like the last time I did a Mother Earth, but I love her anyways. I've burnt her. I burnt her head. That's her crown. But here, part of her knee when she was sitting Indian style got stuck in the mold. But I love her. I love her because she's Mother Earth and she's beautiful. And I love my Buddhas. I love my Buddhas too. But they have different wicks. So this Mother Earth has the standard white wick, candle wick, and then Buddha has the... As far as my other candles, I have my peonies. I have my Tree of Life with the Tree of Life charm. My peonies, I have charms on there. They're like positive charms. There's so much negativity in the world, so I'm always trying to like put positivity out there because I truly believe that what you put out to the universe comes back to you, which is why I do my sip and thinks with positive affirmations, you know. Everything's like a mindset, you know. That I feel like I'm constantly fighting demons all the time, you know. I do sell the dragon's blood, yes, and the white sage. Yes, obviously it's been burnt because I burn it. Yep, I sell smudging sacks. I'm trying to figure out on TikTok how to do the shop. I did recently learn how to do my shop on Linktree. Yeah, I did that too. I know, amazing, amazing. Yeah. This is my Complicated Beauty. I have that website and that shop. So this is my cup for that. This is the 25 ounce. They do offer the 40 ounce with the straw. But Complicated Beauty, it's about seeing the beauty through the chaos. You know? Because to me in my life, and maybe in your life too, there's always going to be something that is complicated, but yet we got to see the beauty through it, you know? So that's basically how that concept came up. I have Envision Dream. So Envision Dream, obviously, see your vision, be your vision. And that I use with the dream catcher and the sea turtle. Each piece in Envision Dream actually has meaning to it. So here's one of my... That's my logo here, if you can see it, right? So you've got your mountain, which is your mountain of elevation. It's in the distance, right? Because you're going towards it. And behind the mountain, right, of elevation, you have your sun. Well, what does the sun represent? It represents warmth. It represents light. It represents passion. And you need that passion to push you forward, to get up that mountain, to conquer those dreams, right? Seeing. And then we've got our eagle. Our eagle takes flight, right? And it's carrying with it its protection of the sea turtle. But the sea turtle is also our emotions. Our emotions are like the ocean, right? It's ruled by the moon. And the sea turtle has a shell on it of protection. So when we're going out there in the distance and we're trying to climb this mountain, we are trying to make our mark in the world, right? Maybe we don't know what it is we're doing, but we're leaving the home nest. And we're leaving the home nest with our emotions inside of us, but we have that shell, our body of armor, that is protecting our emotions as we go out into the real world. So that's where the turtle and the eagle represent. And then you've got the eye for your vision. And this is all in the dream catcher. The dream catcher is, you know, you're having your dreams of, hey, my idea, right? I want to do this. I want to do that. Okay, do you really want to? Okay, if you want to, what are the steps you're going to take to get there? What are you going to need? What are the tools that you're going to need? So if you put it in that perspective, these are your tools to get there. So that's where Envision Dream comes in. The website for that is www.envision-dream.com, but that's really just e-commerce, the products, but to understand what it truly means and how it can represent you and what you're trying to do, it's phenomenal. So And I use nature because we're humans. We're part of nature. So, yeah, that's a little bit about AKA Wildflower. All right, anything else? I think I've talked a good, what, how many minutes now? That's the beauty of Let's Talk is, I don't know, I could talk about anything. It'll just like spew out of my mouth. Let's see here. It says, and I appreciate you for listening. It says here, I've been on here for 40 minutes and 8 seconds. All right, let's see if I can go create these 5 new posts that are eligible to receive stars, and hopefully within 7 days I can receive a star on one of these new posts. So that is my plan for this week's challenge. And then I'll get off of TikTok, try to figure out how to download this video or live and upload it onto YouTube and go from there and find out what the next challenge is. Whoop-de-doo. Have a good one. I don't know how to turn it off. Yes, I do.